Hello, my fellow Nigerians. This message is for both Nigerian government, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Nigerian youth and Nigerian people who are planning a protest in a few days to come. This protest is long due, and if Nigerians want to protest, they have the right to protest. What is protest? Protest is a way of showing dissatisfaction with the government. And protest has always been a tool used by every citizen of any country in the world, even the biggest democracy, United States of America. When a government is in the wrong direction, the people have the right to protest. When government policies are not in line and in tune with people's values, people have the right to protest. And that is why we've been seeing protests all across the world. From America to Europe, even to some African countries lately. Protest is not to disarm or to overthrow a government. Protest is just to show that the government is in the wrong direction and for that government to checkmate itself. So a protest that Nigerians are planning to embark upon should not be tribalized and should not be trivialized, like politicians always do when they want to fight a cause. Democracy, they say, is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And so what it means is that governance is by the people. And if the people feel that they're not getting dividend on democracy, they have the right to protest. The question I want to ask Nigerian people, wherever you are from Nigeria, whether from the east, from the west, or from the north of Nigeria, are you better off 1 year after this government? Irrespective of your political affiliation, whether you're a member of APC, PDP, or Labour Party, are you better off 1 year after the Tinubu-led government? The answer is no. And that no is what has brought some Nigerians together to go into protest. Nigerians have the right to protest, but it is so sad that from the government quarters, we are calling it different name. Some youths are being used by politicians to call it, oh, it's a protest by the Igbos, by the Hausas, because we have a government led by Yoruba people. This has always been our problem in our nation. The politicians will use us against us. Remember that politicians is using us against us. If we have an Hausa man as a president, oh, they will call it a Yoruba man protest. If we have an Igbo man as president, we will call it a Yoruba man protest. And now we have a Yoruba man as a president, we're calling it an Igbo man or Hausa man protest. The question is a Yoruba man better a year after Tinubu-led government? Is Yoruba in the southwest, in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Oyo, in Osogbo, and in Ipetu-Ijesha, are you better off 1 year after this government? In just less than 1 year, more than 700,000 Nigerians have lost their jobs. Newspapers may not report this, but this is what is happening in our country. Microsoft has left the shores of Nigeria. So many other companies have left because of bad economic policy, insecurity, kidnapping, and currency that has no value. There is no investor that will invest in a country that you cannot even predict its currency. Our currency is free falling every blessed day. And yet we're expecting people to come and invest in our nation. No good businessman can invest in a nation where his currency is crashing every day. No good businessman or business company will come and invest in a country where they're kidnapping every day. No good people will come and invest in a country where there is insecurity every day. And this is what we have in our nation. Our country is in a mess. This government is going on a wrong direction. And the reason for protest is to show the government that they are going in the wrong direction to checkmate itself. Protest has always been used all around the world to checkmate any government. And government of Tinubu is not different from every protest and every government around the world. Even America that has a good government still protest every day. Today in Washington, there is still protest going on for one government policies or the other. So why should a Nigerian government be afraid of protests in its country? It is so sad that in the last 1 year, the government of President Tinubu wants Nigeria to be patient. But people are seeing a government that lavishes money all around. Senators like gifted themselves 150 million naira worth of cars, billions of naira being loaned from abroad, and all we see is being looted. 1 year after a different policy of this government, from oil subsidy removal, all Nigerians have been seeing is bad government, and bad policies. Running a country, it's not the same thing as running a state. And that is why I always disagree with people when they feel, a former governor or a former senator will be the one to run our nation. No, they are two different entirely. It takes a heart, someone with a heart to run a country, to do the right thing for the country. But it's unfortunate that our leaders that we have are not leaders who wants to do the right thing for our nation. Government who is asking people to sacrifice, but we are not seeing their own sacrifices. In the midst of hardship, the government wants to build a VP houses, a new building for the vice president. The vice president is not sleeping in a gutter. If the vice president has to sleep in a hotel for the next 4 years to build our nation, he should sleep in a hotel for us to build our nation. We want to replace the presidential jet because the one he has is not good. If the president has to fly a public plane for the next 4 years to fix our nation, it should do. What are the sacrifices that our government is giving and showing to the people? The same government who says things to countries is hard, yet can approve 150 million worth of cars for every senator, 360 senators in our nation, with 1 million cars in their backyard. A nation where we are claiming things are hard, and we see our government lavishing money, length and breadth of our nation. So no government around the world should be afraid of protest, because protest is the way of people's dissatisfaction when things are not going on well in the nation. There is no one in our country who what is going on in our country has not affected. Since 2023, Nigerian people's life has never remained the same again. Since we removed the oil subsidy, this government has not done anything to make the life of people better. My appeal to everyone in Nigeria is that let us make this protest a peaceful protest. We are protesting bad government, and that's all we want to do. And I want to call most important, especially on the youth of Nigeria, because this protest is going to be powered by the youth of Nigeria. And I'm calling on the youth that will be used as a tool to disrupt the protest. If you're a Nigerian youth that will be used to disrupt the protest, I want to ask you a question. Are you better off in this government than other youth that are protesting? I want you to sit down to ask yourself, before politicians use you, their children will not be part of that disruption. They will come and give you stipend money to cause havoc in your nation, to kill your other fellow Nigerians. They will use you against you. Do not be a youth that will be used against you. Except you can answer the question, if you are better off, if your family is better off, if your children, your father, your mother, your siblings, your community is better off in this government, then you can be a youth that doesn't have to be part of this protest. Instead of you to be used as a tool to disrupt, then stay in your house and let people that want to protest peacefully. I also want to call on Nigerian police force, Nigerian military. Do not be used to fight tear gas, to fight bullets. Don't fire bullets on innocent Nigerians. Remember, they are fighting for you too. Because what is happening in our country is affecting not just Nigerian people, not just Nigerian people, not just Nigerian youth, but even you, in Nigerian police force members. Even you, the military. We're all suffering. Your families are all suffering. The insecurity, the kidnapping, and the bad economic policies in our nation. The job of the police is to protect the people. And your job is to protect those who want to protest. Not to fire tear gas and to fire straight bullets against them. I know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be a man with democratic values. Mr. President has been involved in many protests during the military junta. So I know and he understands what protest is all about. And I want to believe that it will not be a tool to fight against peaceful protestants in Nigeria. And I call on the president to call on his team who are tweeting out bad omen to Nigerian people of fighting against protestants. Protest is normal in any democratic nation around the world. Protest is a way of people saying their dissatisfaction to the government. And what government will do is to sit down and look at their policies. What can change? What can be better? And not fighting and playing tribal politics. Do not be a Yoruba man that will be used against your people and saying, oh, this protest is by the Igbo people or by the Hausa people. Because you will need to ask yourself if you are better off. If you are not better off under this government, then join a peaceful protest, not a protest to disrupt the nation. Remember, when you are looting, you are not looting from the government. You are looting from the people like you who are suffering in the country. When you are protesting, remember not to vandalize anything, because whatever you vandalize, you will be the one to suffer it, not the people in government. So we must learn to organize a peaceful protest, because those who want to embark on this protest, those who engineer this protest, want a peaceful protest. They are not calling for a protest to disrupt the country, but a protest to show the government how dissatisfied we are about the state of affairs of our nation. I, Fadri Oluwada Joseph, support this protest, and I'll call on all members of my rescue movement for New Nigeria to join the protest, a peaceful protest at that. I will support a peaceful protest anywhere around the world. People have the right to protest. People have the right to tell their government when things are going badly. No doubt, right now, things are going badly in our nation, and we must all come together to condemn it. So I appeal to the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to see this protest as a wake-up call to turn things and to change around our country, and to sit down to see that the policies we have right now are not working, and we need to put policies up that will work. If we have sabotage in the system, let's flush them out. Our country is the only country where people steal and nobody get punished for it. What happened to Minister Hedu today? We don't hear about it anymore. The woman that diverted billions of Nigerian money to her personal account and couldn't account for billions of naira. What happened to her? Nothing happened. We cannot run a country where there's no law and order and punishment and expect to have a great nation. Until we get to a point where we give punishment when people do what is wrong. People are accountable for their actions. That is when we're going to have a country in our nation. So many people are doing what is wrong. So many looting all over the nation. And all we're doing is looking away. Until we stop playing emotional politics before we're going to have a country. Until we stop playing tribal politics before we have a country. A country where we are suffering, yet the government is expanding and creating more ministries. Ministries that could be imbibed under other ministry. We are creating more ministries when we don't even have money to take care of the ones we have. So a lot is wrong in our nation, and this government must do everything possible to listen to the people and not to roll out state apparatus to fight and to kill Nigerian people. Democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And the people have the right at any point in time to make their concerns known to any government. Nigerian concern right now is that our government is in a bad mood. Our government is in a bad direction. Our government is not working. and we want government to work. Government also lay a foundation for it to work. From 2023 till now, how many investors has come to our country? No investor will come to a country that has no stable currency, a country that has no stable light, a country that has no stable security. If a government cannot work on these three areas, then we'll have a government that will continue to struggle, borrow money to loot with no results. I wish all Nigerians best of luck as we embark on a peaceful protest. But let's educate those who are uneducated among us that protest is not a tribal war. Protest is not a tribal game. Protest is a way of checkmating a government. And this protest, if it means to checkmate this government, then everyone in this government should sit up and know that Nigerians are saying, we are not seeing what the government is doing, that the government policies are bad and must be checked. May God bless Nigeria. May God bless you. And may God bless me. I remain Fadri Oluwadai Joseph, the former presidential aspirant on the Labour Party. Thank you. God bless you.